Hey everybody, welcome back to part 2. Okay, so clean some of the other stuff up. We've got our batter. It's nice and glistening. It's set for about 5 minutes, a little bit more. So I've got my pan on and it's warming right now. Don't touch the pan, it's hot. But you want it to warm, you want to kind of feel to make sure that it's warm enough that you can actually start making your pancakes. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make about a fourth of a cup of side per pancake. Actually, I should get, well, actually, I think I'm okay. But then what we're going to do is we'll just put a little butter down here. This is non-stick, so, it shouldn't stick anyway, but at the same time, that butter imparts a little bit of flavor, and it makes sure that nothing actually gets too stuck. You don't want it to get stuck. Once it gets stuck, it's not nice. But what we're going to do is, first I'll put it down in there, and then what will happen is bubbles will start to form. Once the bubbles have kind of gone over, and you can really get underneath it, then you'll know that it's about done. But you want to wait for those bubbles to kind of go away. Alright, and then one thing I'm going to do, since I have this, and this is just a precautionary measure, I have some olive oil spray. I'm going to grease this just a little bit. It makes things kind of come out a little bit faster. So I'm going to do this over the sink. So I just greased it just a little bit. Yeah, you can kind of tell it's kind of glistening. I'm going to get a little bit of a napkin here and just kind of wipe it around in there so that it coats each side of everything. So you get your napkin and you just kind of coat each side of everything. Now we're going to throw that away. Alright, next thing's next. We're going to take a butter knife and we're going to get a little bit of butter. There we go. Oh, this is nice and hot, so I'm going to turn this down a little bit. And we're going to spread this butter around. And we're going to do it to the point where it just is going to show just exactly how much we need. So we're going to start with our first pancake. So here we go. Going to get this, a fourth of a cup. We're going to fill it up. And this should make about 8 pancakes, so it's good for about 2 people. And you can always double the recipe, things like that, in order to make more, depending on how many people you're going to be serving. There we go. Out it comes, and it comes out nice and clean because we greased that. Really need something to set this on. We're not dirtying everything. I'm going to try to get this into a nice round shape, pancake style. There we go. Maybe we'll turn this up just a little bit. But now what we want to wait for is we want to wait for things to start to solidify. We want to wait for those bubbles to come up. And right now we see bubbles coming up. It's not the best shaped pancake, I'll admit that. I think a lot of times what you want is a spout so you can kind of pour it into a circle. Maybe the device I'm using is not the best for it, but at the same time, I don't care about the shape of pancakes for me. I care about the taste. But we can see, and I wish you could see, but right there. Oh, no, you can't see. Sorry. But you gotta trust me on this one. It is definitely forming bubbles. It's looking good. Try to make it into more of a round shape. But low and slow is what I've always been told, just to kind of let it go. Make sure that everything actually kind of cooks through. The faster you go, you can burn things, and that's something that you don't want to do. You don't want to burn it. because once it's burnt, you don't really want to eat it. What happens when you burn something is carcinogens get involved, and carcinogens are not good for you. So brown is what we're there's a chef called Amberelle, and her mantra is, brown food tastes good. So, and she always says it like that, so don't blame me for saying it. But she's right. Brown food does taste good, because that means you haven't burnt it, it isn't undercooked, it's cooked perfectly through. And when it's brown, then you know that you've actually accomplished that. Alright, so I don't know, maybe we turn this up a little bit higher. I know that I've seen other people make pancakes, and so, you know, they've done a great job. Maybe I need to ask for some tips. But right now, this looks pretty good. Pancakes going well, and you can always check underneath just to kind of see what your progress is. Nope, this still has some time to go. And then what I've got down here, and, you know, once this is nice and perfectly going, the rest of the pancakes are going to go a lot faster. Yeah, and the bubbles are really coming up now. I really wish I could. If I picked up the camera, they would probably turn off. But the bubbles are really starting to show. And so it's, you know, it's about time to flip. And then what we've got in the oven is a plate, because, you know, right now I've set the oven to about 170 degrees. And then what that's going to do is, when this one's done, I'm going to throw it in the oven into a little, it's a ceramic dish, just to kind of keep them warm. So it's not going to cook them more, it's just going to keep them warm while I cook the other ones, so that when everything is finished, then I'm going to have a nice, warm bunch of pancakes, because that's what you want. Alright, I think this is ready. So now we're going to flip. Yeah, that's looking good. I should probably put this over here somewhere. And again, we want to make sure that these are nice and fluff-tastic. We want them golden brown on each side. Now again, it's a little bit different when it comes to cooking with wheat flour, because it's already kind of brown. So, you know, you want to watch it even more carefully. And in fact, I'm going to turn the fan on a little bit, just to make sure. But everything seems to be cooking down really well. And we're almost done with our first pancake. But we want to wait till it's nice and golden brown. So you get that first bottom part down, and that's going to be very nice. Alright. So, I think we're done with our first pancake. But I want to make sure. No, it could go for a bit longer. You know, and you could do more than one at a time. Honestly, this pan's big enough, maybe. But, you know, at the same time, I would like them as uniform as possible. You know, same texture, same wonderful taste for each one. And so we kind of go the way we're going to go. And all that butter is going to get, you know, infused into there. And it's going to be nice. And then I've got some tips for you for our next one, you know, and I'll kind of go over that. And then I'll probably hit pause for the video for a little bit, you know, as I cook it, because, you know, there's only so many talking points to each video. But I will show you what this looks like once, and again, these are wheat flour pancakes. So, they're going to look a bit different. You can use white flour, you know, that's just fine. And then you'll actually be able to see a little bit better the cook on it. And there we go. That is a nice looking pancake. Nice and brown. Brown food tastes good. And I'm going to open up the oven with my glove on. Open it up and put this right inside there. So number one is done. Now, just for good measure, I don't really need more butter because there's plenty on there. But I'm going to get a little bit more And the thing is, I don't want my butter to burn. So I'm going to take this off. Just let it kind of sizzle in there. And I'm going to take the same thing from here. Get another nice giant dollop. And pancake number 2 begins. Here we go. Pancake 2 is in. I'm going to mix everything together, flatten it out, make a nice round shape. You know, you can be creative with these things if you want. Some people like to do Mickey Mouse, or, you know, and all these things are possible. They really are. They just take more time. Okay. So I'm going to let this one cook. It's nice and laid out. Now, so my tip. Now, some people, what they like is, what's that? Now, some people, what they like is they like syrup. You got this from Massachusetts, pure maple syrup. You got this one, is from Trader Joe's, pure maple syrup. Some people really love syrup on their pancakes. And that is the way people go. And where does maple syrup come from? Maple tree. That's how you know. Which Canada is actually really good with maple syrup. Because they have lots of maple trees. But my tip is this. Is that when it really comes down to it, some people really like jam. And that's what we're going to be doing today. Is jamming with jam on our pancakes. And this is a blackberry jam. It was made in a gift from a friend that has a blackberry tree in their yard, and then they jam everything. And they get a lot of blackberries. And it is so tasty. And so instead of syrup, a lot of times what I'll do is just put on, for each pancake, put a pancake down, and I'll show you once I do it, but you put a pancake down, put a little bit of jam, put a pancake down, a little bit of jam, put another pancake down, then on top, and if you want some butter, then, bam, it just pops. It's so good. Sometimes it's good to go against tradition. Alright, so we got our second pancake looking pretty good. Almost ready to be flipped. We got those bubbles forming. I'm going to go ahead and flip it. There we go. And again, this is just a sort of a rotation of things now, So I'm making pancakes for 2 people today, but you can make pancakes for a lot more people. And if you have like a grill outside or something like that, you can there's like these griddle things that you can buy, and you could be making a bunch at a time and just just go straight through. This is nice just because you can make one pancake at a time, and then it really kind of goes through what you want it to go through. Like you can make it exactly how you want it to look, how you want it to taste, and not really. Sometimes what happens when you're making things in bulk, you're gonna break a couple of eggs along the way and lose a couple. This is a much more streamlined process, which is nice. But we're almost done with pancake number 2, so I'm gonna get ready with my glove. And then I just got 6 more to do, but I will pause it and then I'll come back and revisit you once I'm done with the rest. Now let's finish with this one. I'll put it on pause and then we'll revisit. Alright, give me one moment. You want to again make sure that everything is cooked through. And I could definitely have some more time. Because you don't want it to not be cooked through. If you like break into a pancake and the batter's still wet inside, yeah, that ain't a fluffy pancake. That's a wet pancake. And you'll tell the difference. It's not the best. So, but you go through and, a lot of things are trial and error. And another thing with these, depending on what you have around the house, you can incorporate fruit. Sometimes, like instead of butter on the top, you can put a banana, like slice up a banana, put some bananas along the top, and have it look that way. And, it's actually really a wonderful thing. Because, you say, I don't know, but you break into that with a little bit of syrup, a little bit of banana, and a pancake slice. It's good stuff. Alright, well this smells like it's done. Move it over here. I'm going to check it again. Yep, nice and brown. Brown food tastes good. According to Ann Brown. Alright. So we are 2 pancakes in. I'm going to pause this, make the rest of the pancakes, and then I will make up a plate and show you kind of the jam portion of the video. Alright, see you in a little bit. Alright, so we're back. I am now done. Now it seems like just a second pass, but actually a long time has passed. Now I'm done. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the pancakes that have been sitting in the oven warming, take them out, set them here, and I'm going to prepare them. Let me turn this down a little bit, put it up medium so we don't have to talk too loud. Alright, these are nice warm pancakes. Nicely browned, ready to be served. So, I told you about the jam thing. What I'm going to do is make 2 preparations. So I'm going to do traditional and just put some syrup on there. Melanie will be having the one with the jam, but I will definitely take a picture of that so you can see what it looks like with the jam as opposed to the syrup. Alright, so I've got some tongs because this plate, if you can see, it's quite hot. I've got it on a heating pad so it doesn't do anything to the stove. This actually just made about 3 pancakes per, so it was 6 pancakes. So I'm going to put one down. I'm going to put a tiny bit of butter on there. And I think I'm going to go with Massachusetts today. Oh, it's actually sticky. When sugar gets sticky, it sticks well. And I put just a little bit down on top of my pancake. Alright. And I get my second pancake. That there. Little dab of butter. That melt right in there. A little bit more syrup. This is the way I like it anyway. A little bit of syrup down. And I grab my last pancake. Put this down right on top. Get my last bit of butter. To the top, you want a big one. We're getting the whole thing. Alright. Can't hide from me now. And then a last sprinkle of the syrup. Not too much, because I've already got enough on there. And there we go. Have ourselves some fluffy pancakes. Wonderful, ready to go, made with wheat flour. So, it's different, but it's still equally as good. So, I hope that you make some. Show me some pictures, and I'll be excited to see. Alright, I hope this has been a good class. Bye, everybody.